Yes. Hello again. Welcome. It's the Rich Rare Radio Show along with the great Dragon Ball behind the glass, behind the mic, and standing there waiting at the back door as I come in from the parking lot going, where's my taco? Where's my taco?
Where's your taco?
No, you.
Oh.
You were saying, where's my taco? I lost a bet to you. First time ever I've ever lost a bet to Dragon Ball in my life.
The first time ever, and it could not have come at a better time.
You are the champion. You own me. Might as well get a T-shirt that says property of Dragon Ball because you called it last night. I wanted to bet my whole $637 and some odd cents on the Warriors last night. You go, I got a feeling. You sounded like Christopher Walken going more cowbell. Said, I got a feeling. I'm not comfortable, Rich. Don't make that bet. And I said, nah, Dragon Ball, you're nuts. Warriors are going to roll. They'll sweep Luka and the Mavs, and I'm going to be sitting there with over $1,000 in my account getting ready to go to New York City this weekend and blow it all, running around in New York like a drunken sailor on shore leave. And you said, Rich, don't do it. Rich, please don't do it. I beg of you. You're right. I'm wrong. You're really good looking. I'm not. You're really sharp. I'm rather dim-witted. I'm sorry.
Giving me the full Happy Gilmore apology.
I'm sorry.
Well,
in fact, we should change chairs and let you host the show today.
Oh no,
that's
that's
how on fire you are today.
That's a bit too much.
Well, we'll see. Anyway, hello again, everybody. Thanks for joining us. This is Wildcat Wednesday, brought to you by our friends at PGA Tour Superstore. I've got a really special show set for you today. We're going to talk a lot of Arizona basketball and a little Arizona baseball after Arizona wins ball. I'll get to that in just a second. Coming up on the program today, I told you yesterday I had a chance to sit down. We have student athletes come on the program. Usually we get them for about 10, 15 minutes at the most, and we get them to call in. Well, yesterday I had an opportunity to sit down and have a long, extended, exclusive sit-down interview with Umar Ballo, the most improved player in the Arizona Wildcat basketball squad that was the number one seed in the NCAA tournament. This young man blossomed so much, and he had come on the program once with us during the season. And we just got a chance to talk to him for just a minute. We discovered he spoke several different languages, left home at a young age. So I was afforded the opportunity to sit down with him for an extended interview, and we're going to go through his whole life. We're going to talk about what life is like growing up in Mali, what it's like leaving as a little kid to go play in an academy in Spain, how he got to Mexico City, Gonzaga, and then coming down to the University of Arizona. And we're going to learn a lot about Umar Ballo. I think I know he's one of my favorite players. I think he's something special, both on and off the court. He has that smile that lights up a room. And you're going to get to learn more about Umar Ballo and really get to know him in an intimate way that we really don't get a chance to with a lot of the student athletes. They're busy. They're going to class. We don't get to have long, extended interviews with them a lot of times. And Umar was kind enough to sit down with me, and we talked for almost an hour. And we're going to bring you that interview coming up in the 4 o'clock hour today. So if you're an Arizona Wildcat basketball fan, you're going to want to make sure that you're listening in the 4 o'clock hour. Call your friends, tell your buddies. If you're a big Arizona fan, make sure you tune in today in the 4 o'clock hour for this special interview. David, Dragon Ball, you've been editing our interview all day. It's something remarkable when you think about this young man from Mali and how he ended up in Tucson. You've heard it. It's a great story. So we have that coming up for you on the program today. Also, because it's Wildcat Wednesday, we always get coaches and players and everything else on. Today, TJ Benson, Arizona assistant, is going to join us. And he has one of those jobs that we hear about all the time, but we never know exactly what they do. So TJ is on the staff for Tommy Lloyd. And if you watch the games, you'll see him. If you listen to Tommy talk about him, you'll hear him mention him. He's a recruiting coordinator, special assistant to the head coach. He's going to join us this hour, and we'll get to know a little bit more about the way the Arizona basketball staff works and the roles that everybody has to play. I think it's really interesting, Dragon Ball, when you talk to the staff, there's different assignments. Everybody's kind of working in unison, but there's different people that have different duties each week. Usually we'll talk with Jack Murphy, or we'll talk with Steve Robinson, we'll talk with Ricardo Foyce. We'll talk with the different coaches that get assigned the scouting duties for each upcoming opponent. So if you're playing UCLA and USC in the same week, maybe Foyce will get UCLA, and while he's getting ready for UCLA, Coach Robinson will get USC, and they're both doing work parallel in different silos, getting ready for the Thursday and then Saturday game. It's fascinating the way the basketball program is run and the coaching duties and everything. So we're going to talk with TJ Benson joining us here coming up in about 25 minutes from now. He's our featured guest on Wildcat Wednesday, and again, all brought to you by PGA Tour Superstore. Program this week is brought to you by Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer and Topo Chico Ranch Water Hard Seltzer. No show Friday. Did you get the memo?
Yes.
No show Friday. I'm going on vacation.
Yeah, you're heading out.
I'm going to Fleet Week in New York.
There you go. You've been looking forward to this for a while.
I am. And today, the parade of ships came into New York Harbor.
Oh, they
went
already
up the Hudson and came back down the Hudson. So there's about 3,000 sailors, Marines, Coast Guardsmen. Plus, I think there's a British warship in town as well.
Oh, wow.
And they're just getting all the hospitality of the world in New York City. So if you listen to the show, and I know I brag about my son all the time, he is a Service Academy midshipman in New York City. He goes to the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. When he graduates, he plans on going active duty, Navy. He's hoping to be a naval aviator. If not, he wouldn't mind being an officer on a submarine. Top gun or bottom gun, whichever one he wants to do. So I've never been able to visit him at the academy. So I'm actually going to fly out Friday afternoon, meet up with him at Times Square. I think I'm going to get into Times Square about midnight. And then we're just going to go have a great time in New York City for the weekend. So it's Fleet Week, it's Memorial Day. We'll go visit Ground Zero and then and pay our respects. And then I don't know what's going to happen. I've been watching videos on YouTube of the ship sailing in and how New York just opens up their arms and buys all the sailors drinks and dinner and all the rest of that. So we're going to go have a great time in New York. I'll take pictures, and maybe I'll post some of them.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool to see everything that's going on, because that many boats in the Hudson is probably a sight to see.
Oh, yeah, it's something cool. I've been to Fleet Week in San Diego. I've been to Fleet Week in San Francisco. Never been to Fleet Week in New York. So I'm really looking forward to spending some time with my son and getting a chance to hang out with him and his shipmates this weekend. And it should be pretty exciting. Just running around New York City. And I discovered this the other day. This is the first time I'm ever going to go to New York and not work. Like, I've been to New York City a number of times, but it's always for a game, a fight, just something work-wise.
A fight you were covering, not a fight you were going to have.
Well, it depends on how much I drink this weekend in New York, whether I'm going to get into any fist fights or not. No, I always go. I've been just about everywhere in the country, but I never go on vacation. I like to work. So I've been in New York covering games. I've been to Boston covering games. I've never actually, in my adult life, ever just gone on vacation somewhere just to go on vacation. This is the first vacation in my entire adult life I'm going on.
There you go.
So we're going to take Friday off. We'll have the Memorial Day weekend off, and then we'll also have, I'll take Tuesday off as I'm flying home, and then we'll be back to work on Wednesday.
Oh, that I didn't know.
Yeah, I'll be back to work on Wednesday. You can come in on Tuesday, hang out, and wait for me.
I gotta have the sign out.
I have had that before. It's pretty cool.
I bet, yeah.
When somebody sent a limo to pick me up once.
Have the little sign out in front just saying, looking for Rich Herrera.
Exactly. I'll probably get one because I think, in New York.
Well, if Riggs doesn't do that for you when you land, I mean, come on. You ought to tell him
Well, he doesn't have a license. He doesn't have a car. He can't come pick me up.
Oh, but he's got to still at least be there with the sign.
Oh, no. He's already figured out where he's going to be because he's 21 now.
Right.
My son's 21 now, so he already figured out which bar he's going to be sitting in.
Oh, I
And
see.
he's going to give me the direction. Okay, Dad, go drop off your luggage and then meet me at this bar and giddy up. Here we go.
Sounds like he's going to be enjoying his time in New York himself.
Yes, bring your credit card because we're going to do some damage. Okay, buddy, whatever you say. So anyway, we have a lot to get to. So we're going to have Brian Jeffries join us live from Scottsdale. He called the game this morning. Arizona won. We'll talk about that as they beat. Well, I'll get to that in just a second. I'm getting a little ahead of myself right here. So we got Umar coming up, TJ Benson coming up, Brian Jeffries coming up. Pretty big day for us here on Wildcats Radio 1290. I do want to stop though, and I want to say something real quick, if you don't mind. Just indulge me if you won't mind for just a second. A lot of us have been watching the news and sitting there heartbroken in front of the television. I, like everybody else, am just numb. And when you see things go on in the world that you can't explain, and it breaks your heart, and you get angry and you get upset, I feel it too. So let me say this to everybody. I want to acknowledge everything that's gone on down in Texas, Buffalo, New York, and all the places where people are hurting around the country, as well as around the world. We do a sports talk show here. We are an escape. We are entertainment. We are here to lighten your load, and we're here to make your life a little bit easier. We're here to have fun, and that's our purpose. So it's my decision on this radio show, when everybody else in the world wants to talk about these things, I'm going to do something a little bit different. And I want you to know, I thought about the audience when I'm making this statement. We're going to continue to do the show that we do on a daily basis. It doesn't mean that we're not thinking about those folks. It doesn't mean that we don't care. But the way the world is right now, quite honestly, folks, we just get overwhelmed and inundated with sad, bad news and everything under the sun. And it gets to be overwhelming. And it gets to be fatiguing. So I'm going to double down and dig a little bit deeper to try to do the most entertaining show that we can and keep doing what we're supposed to do. I want you to stay informed. The first time anybody in Rio is going to tell you this, go watch the news. Go listen to the news. Go be informed. And just know when that news cycle gets to be too much and your grief starts to just overwhelm you and you need a little bit of a breather, we're going to be here doing what we do on a daily basis with heavy hearts and our thoughts for everybody that's affected, you in this community, those that are hurting. We do this show, and we're gonna stay in our lane. We're gonna do what we're supposed to do, which is entertain you. And the reason we're doing that is you need a little bit of relief. You need a little bit of sense in a world that just doesn't make sense anymore. So I'm going to keep doing this radio show, knowing that a lot of you are going to go watch the news and listen to the news, and I encourage you to do that. But know that when you have had your fill and you're overwhelmed and you need a break and you need a little mental break, and you become fatigued, you can come here and I'm going to entertain you, and I'm going to do my best to help raise your spirits, and I'm going to do everything I can to help you get through all this the best that I can. So as we do the radio show, and we started seeing the news yesterday, we kind of stayed in format because that's what we do. But I just want to let everybody know we're processing this just the same way that you are. And my decision is we're going to do the very best we can to give you a break when you need it. We're going to do our very, very best to show some grace and provide some grace in this world, knowing that, we've got heavy hearts, but we're going to push forward to do what we think we could do best to help everybody, which is just give you a little bit of a break. So as you're watching the news, and believe me, it's overwhelming. I had to turn it off last night, just as you probably did at one point. So when you get to that point, it gets a little overwhelming. You can hop back over here with me. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna do our normal show for you because I just want to be that little bit of normalcy for you and relief for you while being respectful of everything that's going on in the world. So I just wanted to share that with you today on the program. I speak for myself in this show. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys listening today. Dragon Ball, I appreciate you. I owe you a taco.
You owe me a taco.
How's it feel to finally one-up me?
All I know is that this is verbatim what you said to me when I walked into the room today.
You were right. I was wrong. But this is not the time for the I told you so speech.
Oh, it is the time for I told you so speech. It is 100% the time for the I told you speech. Anyway, coming up on the program, we're going to have TJ Benson join us in the bottom of the hour for Wildcat Wednesday. Hey, real quick, program today is brought to you by QC Kinetics. Do you know how warm it's going to be this weekend?
Too warm.
No, it's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be like hiking weather. You can go out in Sabino Canyon. You can go out, hike up Mount Lemon. You could go, I'd rather go play golf, but some people like to hike. Some people like to be in the outdoors in Arizona. Guess what? This is the best time of the year to live in Arizona. It's the most active part of the season right now, but there's a lot of you that just can't enjoy the great outdoor weather where you have right now because of joint pain, and you can't live like you want to. That's not right. Come on. We live in God's country. People come on vacation here. You should be able to enjoy the great outdoors to do what you want. Well, if you can't because of joint pain, I want you to listen to this. If hip pain, knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain is taking the fun out of life, it sucks the fun out of living, stop right now because I've got fantastic news for you. QC Kinetics is helping people here get the fun back with advanced regenerative treatments from local medical professionals. Regenerative medicine is the hottest thing going. It's basically taking growth factors with healing properties from your own body, highly concentrated, and then putting them into your aching joints. This exciting in-office, non-surgical treatment can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints, giving you real, lasting relief from pain. So you can go out and do everything that you want to. You can go play golf again. You can go hiking again. You can hang out and do whatever Dragon Ball does during the weekend again. No, I wouldn't do that. Anyway, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in these cutting-edge, all-natural options. And the patient satisfaction reports are incredible. They have over 100 clinics nationwide, including right here in Tucson. Yes, you can get real relief from pain with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. So stop putting it off. Call QC Kinetics now to learn more about regenerative medicine and get a totally free in-office consultation. Here's the number. QC Kinetics number right now. Here you go. 520-497-4955. That's 520-497-4955. QC Kinetics Academy and Orange Grove. Here's the number. Write it down. Better yet, call them right now. 520-497-4955. We'll continue with you. TJ Benson joins us in 10 minutes. Arizona assistant right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Big show today. Coming up in about 5 minutes, TJ Benson, assistant basketball coach, Arizona. His official title is the special assistant to head coach Tommy Lloyd, recruiting coordinator. We're going to go inside Arizona basketball's office with TJ Benson joining us here in just a little bit. Next hour, I'm telling you, tell your friends, I'm going to go one-on-one with Umar Ballo, and we're going to learn everything about this young man. We're really going to get to know his background and the amazing journey that took him from Africa to Spain to Mexico City, where he's roommates with Ben Matherin, to Spokane, Washington, and finally to Tucson, Arizona. It is fascinating, the journey that this young man has gone on in the different languages, and it's something pretty remarkable you're going to want to hear. So tell your friends that they're Arizona basketball fans. Next hour, please tune in. This is an exclusive long-form interview with Umar Ballo. Really, really interesting. All right, real quick, let me tell you what's rattling around in my big old head. Let's go through the list. I do have a complex about the size of my head. When I was a kid, my uncle used to call me a pencil neck.
You had the George Lopez problem where it was in. Did you ever watch the George Lopez show?
I love George Lopez.
Okay, you remember in the show where he was always joked about the size of his head being too big? Okay, so you got the George Lopez.
I got the George Lopez head. But my uncle used to call me a pencil neck geek. I didn't realize he was just quoting Classy Freddie Blassie.
Classy Freddie Blassie.
So I used to wear turtlenecks, or I'd keep my collar up because I was self-conscious of my neck.
Man.
And then the size of this dome. And once I got into Little League and I couldn't get a hat that fit my head, then I really had a complex. And now you know why I am the way I am.
At that point, you might as well just play with a helmet all the time.
Size 8, baby. Size 8. I learned you could buy a hat extender.
Yes, you can, actually. I think I've seen a couple of those.
I just bought a plastic hat extender on Amazon so I can wear snapback caps.
There you go.
That's why I got this one. This is a fitted cap, but it's still a little too small for my head. Anyway, here's real quick what's rattling around in my big old head. I owe Dragon Ball a taco. Yes, Dragon Ball, you're right. I was wrong. Dubs lose last night. They did make a game of it at the end, but a little too late.
You were right. I was wrong. But this is not the time for the I told you so speech.
Oh, it's time for that I told you so speech. I was wrong. Cats win today. Baseball over Oregon. Pretty remarkable.
Pitch hit deep to left field. This could be gone again. Smith will give it a look. It is out of here. 2-run shot for Susak, his second home run of the day. The Wildcats extend their lead now, up by 3.
Cats go on to win 8-6 over Oregon after being swept by the Ducks in Eugene. They beat them in the first game of the Pac-12 tournament. They'll go on to play tomorrow. 4:45 is a scheduled first pitch. They'll take on the winner of the game going on right now. Are you watching it?
Yes.
Arizona State taking on Stanford.
Yes.
What's the score?
Right now, ASU has a 1-run lead. It's a bases loaded situation right now. I think Stanford is needing. I think it's ASU's needing to go to the bullpen right now. That's getting close.
So
it's making a game.
Stanford's the best team in the tournament.
Mm-hmm. Top
so
seed.
do you want to take on the top seed, or would you rather take on your bitter rival?
Either way, it's going to be a matchup.
Anyway, we'll have that game for you tomorrow here on 1290. Arizona is going to be featured CBS television. First game of the season against San Diego State. And the Cats get their big man. It's official. Henry Thasar will be joining the Cats. Big man from Estonia will be rolling in for the Cats beginning next season. That's what's rattling around in my big old head. Coming up in just a second, we'll be joined by TJ Benson for Wildcat Wednesday. There you go. Can we go ahead and talk to TJ right now? So this is what we're going to do. This is an important guest for us to come on the program, Dragon Ball. And I've already messed up the clock by talking way too long. So we're going to blow up the entire format of this radio program because it's Wildcat Wednesday, and I want to talk to TJ Benson so bad, we're actually going to stay right here. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring in TJ Benson, special assistant to head coach Tommy Lloyd, recruiting coordinator for the University of Arizona, member of the coaching staff for the Arizona Wildcats men's basketball team. He's our special guest today on Wildcat Wednesday. TJ, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I appreciate you coming on. I'm doing great. Bear down. Thank you so much for being our guest here on Wildcat Wednesday.
Yeah, man. Happy to be here. I mean, it's I could say things are a little slow with guys all being gone for kind of the various things that a lot of our international guys are kind of out and about doing right now. But got a handful of guys still here working, but for the most part, it's pretty quiet.
But you guys have camp coming up. Arizona men's basketball camp's coming up. We've been telling everybody about it. That's right around the corner. I remember when I was a kid going to sports camp. It was pretty exciting. But I got to imagine going to Arizona men's basketball camp and being able to shoot baskets inside the Richard Jefferson Gym and McHale Center has got to be a thrill for a young basketball player that gets a chance to walk in the footsteps of the Wildcats.
No question. I mean, I'll say this: it's kind of weird to be doing camps again, just with everything that's gone on the last couple of years. But I think it's a huge part of what we do in the summertime, and obviously, I think growing camps, it's a huge priority to Coach Lloyd and to our program and our staff. I mean, you get a lot of kids that kind of grow up in Tucson or in Phoenix or in Arizona or in the West Coast that, hey, it gives them an opportunity to kind of, like you said, getting McHale, getting RJ, and obviously kind of, maybe you start to build on their dreams of, maybe being Wildcats one day.
When you see those kids, or even more so, when their parents come to pick them up and you see how starry-eyed they are, what does that say to you when you think about it? You work there every day. You see these folks rolling in, and they get a chance, like you said, to go into the Jefferson Gym, to go into McHale Center, and you see really what a special place it is when you look through their eyes.
No, you hit it right there. I mean, it just shows you how special places Arizona truly is, and I mean, I think that, whether I know Coach Lloyd had camps at Gonzaga, we had camps at Grand Canyon University, but to me, it's that you're helping these kids develop, and not only on the basketball floor, but their love for a game. That hey, it might be a 6-year-old, it might be a 12-year-old, and I know that I personally got a couple nephews, and one of them's about he's 5, he'll be 6 in September, and I just look at him like he came to some games this year, and to me, he's fallen in love with the game. So to kind of have that ability to impact little kids, and again, a lot of them haven't had the chance to do that, the last 2 summers. So to kind of let this be year one of what we're trying to do here and what we're trying to build, I think all of us are really excited to kind of get that going.
Camps are for kids 6 to 14, 2 separate camps. One comes up on the week of the 13th. One comes up the week of the 20th. Registration is now open right now, ArizonaBasketballCamp.com. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But TJ, I wanted to talk about you and maybe if you could help us kind of go behind the curtain of what goes on in the Arizona basketball office. So let's just start with you. Your title is Special Assistant to the Head Coach, Recruiting Coordinator. You've coached, you've been a recruiting coordinator, you've been an office manager. I wanted to talk about your background because there's lots of people like, what's he do? Boy, I'd like to do what he does. So let's talk about you and your background and how you got here to Tucson. So tell me about where you grew up and what sports you played as a kid.
Grew up in Tempe, Arizona, Corona del Sol High School. I played basketball, I played soccer. I actually came to a U of A camp when I was younger. We're sitting here talking about camps and everything. And, for me, just, my background with being an Arizona guy at the end of the day, again, being from Phoenix, I think that to kind of go from, playing in college, playing a little professionally, being at Grand Canyon as a coach, being at Gonzaga with Coach Lloyd prior to getting to Arizona, like I said, to me, I've taken a lot of my experiences, and you talk about what I do, and I just do a little bit of everything. I've from whether it's coaching, scouting, recruiting, camps, game scheduling. I mean, I feel like there's probably, aside from, I guess, being a head coach, I mean, there's not a whole lot that I haven't really done or experienced, through my 11 years of coaching. And, to me, I think that, one day whenever if and when I try to be a head coach, I think I can look back on my experiences and know that, hey, whoever I, decide to hire or whatever it is, I mean, I can sit there and say, hey, this is how I like to do those things because, I've done a little bit of everything, a little bit of a Swiss Army knife.
TJ Benson joining us right now. His title is a special assistant to head coach Tommy Lloyd, recruiting coordinator. Go back for a second. I'm going to take you down this rabbit hole for just a second. Tell me what you remember about you being a kid going to basketball camp here in Tucson.
Man, I actually remember being with one of my good friends, JJ Safera, at the time, and we made the trip, the trip on down, and like I said, to me, I remember being in, at the time, I think it was actually Bear Down Gymnasium,
right?
Was
probably
being used.
Yeah.
And I know they've kind of renovated that place, and it's pretty cool now to kind of see what they've developed it into. But I mean, that's where I almost feel kind of old myself sitting there saying that. But no, I mean, it was a great experience, and to me, when you, as a kid, when you're a part of camps that are with good people and run the right way, like I said, I know that impacted my love for basketball. And I mean, again, the camps will run this summer. I think they're going to be fun, full of energy. I think you're going to be around great guys. I mean, I know some of our players are planning to work camps, and I know that's a huge impact on anything you do. I mean, they see these guys running around out there, for our games, and they want to have these kids want to have a chance to meet them. And you don't think about it, I think, until you get a little older and you're like, man, that guy really had an impact on me. And I think that, like I said, to me, I think our camp is hopefully going to, like I said, continue to build on that and to help, obviously, mold young kids.
I mean, if you think about it, I have a nephew who's a sophomore, junior in high school. I brought him out here to campus. He went with me to the spring football game. Just being on campus, being that close, being in that atmosphere, it's changed his whole attitude. He studies harder. He works harder. He uses his day planner. His teachers have written his mom and dad, because there's something different, because all of a sudden he's motivated because he's got a little taste of it. And he goes, I want to go to the University of Arizona. I got to improve my grades so I can come to school here. Yeah,
no, I mean, to me, again, it's, until you go to these camps, and that's where, a lot of these kids, the first thing, I'll say to them when I dress to camp is, thank your parents, thank your grandparents, your aunt, your uncle, whoever, kind of helped you get to this camp and pay for it. I mean, be thankful for that, because not every kid gets that opportunity. And like you said, not every kid gets to visit a camp, a place as great as Arizona. I mean, whether it's as simple as walking through campus or whatever it is, to me, you just, a lot of kids don't get that opportunity, and that's why we don't take for granted as coaches and people running the camp that, kids are always going to show up. And now I do believe that people will show up to our camp, and like I said, they're going to have a lot of fun. But like I said, to me, it's not always, I think people sometimes take that for granted. And obviously, hey, it's been a 2-year hiatus, or almost 3 years, I guess you could say, since camps were run. And you know what? I know we're excited to obviously get them started.
And it is kind of cool. Something just dawned on me. How lucky are we that we're here in Tucson, Arizona, and you could go to a basketball camp in McHale Center. There's softball camps and baseball camps and football camps that you get an opportunity. Power 5, Pac-12 school like Arizona having an opportunity for young kids to go to camp at an early age, again, 6 to 14. You can fall in love with it. A little bit older, you can really start honing your skills. That's something that you don't have at every city in America.
No question. I mean, that's the thing. I'm sure there will be some kids that will fly in for camp. Whether they're coming to visit a relative and they'll stay there with them. I mean, you don't get the access, to I guess you could say a high level camp on a high level university some kids aren't lucky to have that. I mean, hey, even in Phoenix, I know that growing up, I mean, you didn't, I wasn't going to Grand Canyon. Obviously I coached at Grand Canyon. I wasn't going to GCU's kids camps. I wasn't. Like, I obviously came down to Tucson to make that happen. So, I don't know how many people were going to make that trek or that drive, but you don't always get that opportunity. So I think that having a great city like we do in Tucson and as many people as we have, like I said, I think that we're going to be able to have a really good turnout.
Plus, the cool thing is you leave the camp and you go back and you're with your friends, or you go back to school the next fall and you get to wear that Arizona men's basketball camp T-shirt to your first practice. You're automatically the coolest kid there.
No question. And hey, that's obviously one of the perks of coming to camp. You get that camp T-shirt to show off to your friends.
100%. TJ Benson joining us right now for Wildcat Wednesday. All right, so let's talk about your journey. You went to GCU and then I think Weber State, where you played college basketball. Then you played a little professional basketball as well. Talk about your playing career and how this has got you started in this journey that's led you here to Tucson.
Well, it's a little flip there. I started at Weber.
Oh, Weber, okay.
Transferred to Grand Canyon, but no, I mean, I actually, it's kind of crazy. I look at Coach Ray from Weber State actually just retired last week, and he's actually the first guy. Randy Ray, again, he was the head coach at Weber State for 16 years. He's the first guy that I'll never forget this. In practice, there was a baseline out of bounds. We were going through some scouting stuff, and I was sitting there guarding the play, and I was like, why don't we do this, this, and this? And he literally goes, TJ, you know what, you're going to be a good coach one day. He goes, that's actually a great idea. And that's something that kind of has always stuck with me, through in my playing days or my early coaching days at, Boise State for a year, Boise State for a year, Grand Canyon for 7, and obviously Gonzaga and Arizona. But I think there's, like I said, to me, you don't have to play the game to be a great coach, but I do think that it helps because, there's things that you experience as a player that, you can automatically put yourself in the shoes of any one of your guys. They just, hey, it's not always easy, and you're going to go through ups and downs, but you know what, when you're around guys that can relate to you, I mean, it makes it obviously a little bit more, it makes it easier to obviously communicate and understand those things.
Help me out a little bit, because you're kind of the reciprocal. In the Bizarro world, you have a lot in common with some of the Arizona Wildcat players because you played internationally. We have a lot of international players that have come to the States. You experienced the flip side, playing professionally in Brazil. What's that like, leaving your home country, your native land, the language that you're so comfortable with, going to a far-off place where you don't know anybody, you don't know the customs, you don't know the culture, you don't know the language, you don't know the food? What's that like?
It's an adjustment, and I think when you're around great people, it obviously makes it that much easier. And I know that's something with every one of these guys. And hey, we have a diverse staff in terms of Coach Lloyd with his obviously international experience. Coach Robinson, Coach Murph, Coach Ricky. I mean, they all have dabbled with the international way. And like I said, to me, obviously I've gone to a foreign country and played, and hey, that was a long time ago, but it isn't easy. And, especially for first year guys coming in, it's tough if you're, say Dylan Anderson, who's coming from Phoenix, let alone a guy traveling across the country or across the world, and potentially Henry Vasar. So it's always there's a feeling out period, an adjustment period that, sometimes it takes longer for guys to figure that out. And like I said, we're here to help them in whatever way that might be.
Tell me what it was like for you playing in Brazil. What was Brazil like?
I mean, it was a lot of fun. I mean, like I said, we actually ended up kind of were working our way to get to the I guess you could say the top league in Brazil, and we ended up winning what was called the Brazil Super Cup at the time, qualified, and like I said, it was a heck of a ride, and there's still guys to this day that, I keep in touch with on social media. And that's, I guess you could say, the beauty of social media now is, just being able to constantly be in connection with people that I played with. I mean, whatever that was, 11, 12, probably 12 years ago now. So, no, like I said, it was a blast. The fact that I can sit there and say that I played basketball for money. Not a lot of guys can say they did that. And like I said, I was lucky enough to be able to do so.
All right, what do they eat down there? Because I love Brazilian steakhouses, but I got to imagine they don't eat that every day.
Well, I will say this. That is the number one thing that I miss. I mean, the Brazilian barbecue down there is, I mean, hey, it's great if you're at Fogo de Chao or, some of these other spots in the States, but when you actually have the real thing, it's a game changer. So
tell me the difference. Tell me what the real authentic Brazilian steakhouse is like.
I mean, it's similar in terms of the way they do things, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's just the way that the meat is prepared and cooked, and it's not as, like I said, to me, it's just the experience. I mean, it's kind of hard to, I think that's just kind of what it is anywhere. I mean, I feel like the Fogo de Chao, some of these places it's more Americanized, but to me, like I said, it's been a while, so I'm sitting here trying to picture it back in my head, but to me, it's just the overall experience and how authentic it truly feels when you are, doing that.
Let's talk about your coaching career. Eventually, it led you up to Gonzaga. Tell me about Gonzaga and the basketball program and when you first came in contact with Coach Lloyd.
Well, I came in contact with Coach Lloyd actually the first time was at an Outback Steakhouse about probably 10 years ago. It was actually my first recruiting trip. I had dinner with him and Jeff Linder. But it was just, like I said, to me, my relationship with Coach Lloyd developed over time, and basically 3 years ago, around, I guess you could say, April 2019, I'd kind of made a decision. There were some changes that I wanted to make, and in leaving Grand Canyon to try something new and different. And Tommy was one of the first guys that reached out to me, and he's just one of those genuine people that, he'll use this over and over again. But he's like, I'm told me, he's like, hey, you find your way up here. He's like, you got a spot. He goes, he never wants to overpromise and underdeliver on anything. And he is someone that, honestly, I see that happen. He constantly preaches that, and he's someone that has helped me a ton. And I mean, obviously, hey, it was a great 2 years there with him, obviously with Mark Few, and to me, it was the best decision I ever made because, I found my way back to Arizona, and here I am now.
What makes them so special up there? What do they do? What's in their DNA? How have they cracked the code?
I mean, I was only there for 2 years, but to me, it's just the culture. I mean, I think it's a culture of unselfishness, and that's what we constantly talk about it as a staff, as a team. It's just we want good guys in the program, and to me, when you're obviously with good people that that care about you and have your back, whether it's coaching staff, players, it doesn't matter. I mean, to me, that's what probably would be the biggest thing I would take away from Gonzaga. I've always heard things about it, but and I think that in year one here at Arizona, we found the ability to make that happen. It happened a lot quicker, and it was definitely a process over the course of a year. But I think with our coaching staff, the team that we had, I mean, there's literally not a bad person in the entire bunch, and to me, I think that's what truly led to us having the incredible year that we had last year.
TJ Benson joining us right now, Arizona assistant with the men's basketball program. So I've gotten that watching from afar, being a fly on the wall, watching Tommy and the culture that he's brought in here. And then you add that to the Rolls Royce, which is Arizona basketball. You've known about it since you were a kid. Talk about that transition and how Tommy's respected everything that Arizona's done. And then he's kind of just infused this. I look at him and he's just such a good guy, and he expects good from people, and he wants people to come out and have their best. And it's really refreshing because he's genuinely what he says he is, and you look at him, and that's exactly what you get.
Yeah, no, I mean, and again, I can speak from personal experience and things that he's done for me, but to me, he puts the players, he puts the program, everything before him. You know, it's not about him at the end of the day, and I think that ultimately that's why he's had the relationships that he's had over his coaching career, and I think that's why he's had the success he's had, because he's selfless. He's an awesome human being. He's obviously a guy that, like I said, he's normal at the end of the day. You know, he's not, you know, out there. Like I said, he's not a self-promoter, and so with all that being said, he's obviously confident in what he does, and he instills confidence in our guys and our coaching staff. And I think that, you know, again, you go back to it, and I think that was the biggest thing that last year you saw with every one of our guys is how much fun and how confident they all played and how much they grew. And you know what? I think that there's a lot to be attributed to that being the way that Tommy, you know, that he does things and obviously his style of coaching and kind of who he is as a person.
And he probably has the most low-maintenance shoe game of anybody in basketball. He said, I got 3 pairs of gray Nikes. He added a black pair, and I think that's all he has.
Well, and it's funny we're having that conversation because I'm the exact opposite. I think I wore a brand new pair of Nike Blazers the entire season. So, and believe me, I get a lot of crap for that. So he is low maintenance. And at the end of the day, I mean, that's not a bad thing. I mean,
no,
he's a guy that he's in a position where he obviously has a lot going on, and I know you go back to the things that I look to help him out is I just want to make his life as easy as possible and be able to coach basketball. I mean, hey, there's a lot more to it, but you know, like I said, to me, that's who he is, and I don't think that's ever going to change.
All right, help us out a little bit. TJ Benson joining us right now, special assistant to Tommy Lloyd, recruiting coordinator. Don't forget, Arizona's men's basketball camp. There's 2 sessions for kids, 6 through 14. You can go to ArizonaBasketballCamp.com to find out more information. June 13th and June 20th. TJ's helping put it on. We'll have some of the managers out there. Some players will work as counselors as well. It's really a special opportunity for kids that want to learn Arizona basketball and be able to walk in the footsteps of their heroes at McHale Center and the Richard Jefferson Gym. We hear the titles all the time in sports, TJ. Recruiting coordinator, special assistant. Give me just a real quick thumbnail of all the things that you're responsible for. Pull back the curtain a little bit inside McHale Center and talk to us about your day-to-day duties.
Well, I think part of it depends on the time of the year, but I mean, like I said, I think everything from, you know, recruiting, helping with recruiting, game scheduling, daily scheduling, monthly scheduling. You know, there's stuff obviously in the season where, you know, I'm working with travel decisions and where we're staying, when we're leaving. Then on top of that, I mean, hey, I'm a basketball coach and a basketball guy, so there's clearly, you know, when I'm allowed to, there's player development aspects that I'm involved with. There's analytics. There's scouting. I mean, like I said, to me, there's, you know, there's a lot of things. I mean, I say this and wholeheartedly. I mean, I'm just whatever is needed of me. I try to do it. And I said to me, at the end of the day, the biggest thing is just, you know, find a way to get things done. And you know, that's to me, I think what, you know, Tommy is not one of those guys too where, I mean, hey, my title might be special assistant to head coach / recruiting coordinator, but he doesn't want any of our guys on staff to be just pigeonholed or stuck in a single role. He wants, you know, well-rounded guys, well-rounded coaches who want to learn and who want to develop. And I think that's one of his biggest attributes is just how he's developed, you know, coaches and people, you know, kind of over his long coaching tenure.
A couple things I want to know, and I appreciate you giving us so much time. TJ Benson joining us right now. And again, reminder, ArizonaBasketballCamp.com to sign your kid up for the camps that are going on in June in McHale Center. How hard is it to put together a schedule? How hard is it to get a team from the Big Ten to say, hey, I'll play you guys?
I mean, it's not easy, but to me, it's just a lot of it has to do with timing and relationships, and it's just one of those things where I hadn't done scheduling actually until I got to Gonzaga, so this is my third year kind of being involved with it, and I think with Arizona and kind of the way that we do things, there's a model that has been followed, and I think it's a good one. And
do people want to play the Cats?
What's that?
Do people want to play the Cats, or do you got to go, come on, come play us? Or are there people like, hey, I want a piece of you?
I mean, again, I think it just depends on who it is. I think there's a certain level of opponent that we'll get for home and homes, that one will want to play us, and two, that I think that we feel like we should play. We're not someone that's just going to roll into a, like I said, to me, there's a level. There's, that I feel like Arizona's a blue blood at the end of the day. And I think that, when you're talking about home and homes, we schedule a different way than we schedule neutral site games or MTEs or bye games. It's, like I said, to me, there's a lot that goes into it. But, at the end of the day, it's just, timing and relationships with it all.
The travel part of it, I'm fascinated with. When I worked in Major League Baseball, I had a travel secretary, and I get an itinerary, and I, go and get on the plane at TSA, and we get to the hotel, and there was room keys waiting for us, and we go pick them up, and we'd see our luggage when we got up there. Travel's something that I don't think fans appreciate. We got a little insight because you guys had a heck of a trip to Illinois with the planes and the Ubers and all the rest of that. How crazy is it to get this rock and roll circus of Arizona men's basketball from one city to another?
I mean, we obviously travel at a, we're lucky, and I guess you could say privileged and blessed to be able to travel the way that we do, to make these guys, make it as easy as possible for our staff and our players. But, you run into some snags at times. I mean, whether it's the Illinois trip where we're literally calling, 5 different SUVs to make sure that we can get, to Champaign at a decent hour, or, we kind of had a crazy trip this year in terms of, some charters with our trip on the Washingtons. There's some stuff that happened there that, like I said, that's a story for a different day. But you know what? To me, the biggest thing is you always got to be able to adapt, and that's one thing that I learned, I guess you could say, in the last year and a half. I mean, when we were at Gonzaga during COVID last season, I guess 2 seasons ago now, I mean, we'd have games being scheduled in 48 hours, 72 hours. So you're literally scrambling, trying to find a hotel that actually is allowing people into it. You're trying to fit, food. You're trying to find a plane. So to me, that's just, it's something that it has, COVID has impacted things in a lot of ways in the way that you travel now. And you know what, the best way I can say it is just, you got to adapt, and then that's the easiest way to obviously manage the whole situation.
San Diego, trying to get out of San Diego because Lindbergh Field has a curfew. And I remember, going in for Padre games, they're like, oh my gosh, we're going to go. Do we have to take our flight over to Miramar? Do we have to bus over to the military base so we can get out of here because they're going to close the airport because we wanted extras? There's all kinds of things.
That was another one. We were in for the NCAA tournament. We ended up going into an overtime game with TCU, and we were possibly going to have to go to a different airport to allow it to fly out that night, or they were going to make us fly out that next morning. And the whole time after the game, we're scrambling around. We're trying to get guys in and out of there showered, and we made it back. But you know what? Sometimes it's not as easy as people really think it is.
No, it's not. TJ, I appreciate you spending so much time. Can we get you to come back on the program again? I want you to teach me a little bit about basketball analytics.
Okay. You give me the date and the time, and we'll make it happen.
I'd love to. I worked for the Oakland A's. I worked for the Tampa Bay Rays. I had to study sabermetrics and regressive analytics in baseball, so I'm fascinated on how the analytics of basketball works. So I'd love to have you come back on this summer if you get a moment.
Yeah, anytime, man. It's like I said. Well, I like to think that I'm always very available and accessible, and we'll make it happen.
Absolutely. Hey, folks, don't forget, Arizona basketball camp, the men's Arizona basketball camp takes place at McHale Center and the Richard Jefferson Gym. Camps are for kids as age 6 to 14. 2 separate camps, one on June 13th through the 16th, June 20th through the 23rd. Again, the camp takes place at McHale Center inside the Richard Jefferson Gym. Kids will get a camp T-shirt, lunch, autograph signing. To find out more and to register, go to ArizonaBasketballCamp.com. Arizona Basketball Camp with a P.com. Sign up, and I tell you, TJ, your kid rolls into the first day of school, and they're wearing that Arizona Basketball Camp first day when they're going into the 5th grade, they'll be the coolest kid in school. I guarantee you that.
Hey, I love to hear it.
Thank you so much for joining us. I will catch up with you again real soon.
All right, appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
TJ Benson joining us. That was pretty cool. You knew that, right, Dragon Ball? That during the NCAAs in the games against San Diego State, when it goes into overtime, there was a good chance that the Cats were going to get stranded in San Diego because Lindbergh Field has a curfew.
That's right. Yep.
And if you go past the curfew, sometimes the commercial airlines will be granted access to either fly out of North Island, the naval base, or out of Miramar, where Top Gun used to be, which is a Marine Corps base.
Right.
Sometimes they're not.
Eek.
So, anyway, that was fascinating. Thanks to TJ Benson joining us here on Wildcat Wednesday. I'm Rich Herrera. Thanks for joining us. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Rich Herrera with you here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Got a special treat. We talked to him during the season. We said, hey, if we get a chance to talk to you during the off season, I want to visit more with my man Umar Ballo. Umar Ballo joining us here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Inche Kuke, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm happy to be here.
Did I get that right? You told me that's how you say hello, how are you, in your native language.
Yep, that was right. That was correct.
Okay, so I've worked on that the entire time. So thank you so much for joining us. How's your summer been so far? I know school just got out.
It's been fun. School got out, but we're still working out, lifting weight. So it's been fun.
Let's talk a little bit about you, if you don't mind. Such an interesting story, and I've been reading and learning new things about you. I wanted to ask you about what your life was like growing up in Mali. All right, so tell me about your family. Tell me about your mom and your dad. They're both tall. Your brother's tall. Tell me about your family.
Yeah, I have a big family. My mom is 6'2", my dad is 6'7". I have 7-foot brothers. I have 3 brothers. I'm the youngest. Growing up in Mali, it was fun. Completely different. I was playing soccer, and then from soccer to basketball, and then from Mali to Spain, Spain to Mexico City to Gonzaga, and Gonzaga to Arizona. So it's been a long journey.
Who's the tallest in your family? Who's the smallest?
One of my brothers is the tallest, and my middle brother is the smallest.
So you go 7 foot. How about your brothers?
He's 7 foot, 7'1" with shoes.
So you guys can stand over there and see who's taller.
Yeah. I think he's a little bit taller than me, just a little bit.
Tell me about growing up in Mali. What's life in Mali like?
It's different, growing up, all the kids try different sports, but the main sport is soccer. So that's why everyone try soccer first, and when it doesn't work out, then they try a new thing. And my childhood was basically just like the other kids, going to school, family, and then play soccer.
How good of a soccer player were you?
I was decent. I was not the best on my team, but I was good.
What position did you play?
Center back and midfielder.
Does soccer help you in basketball and other things?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I was not the fastest when I was playing soccer, but when I changed from soccer to basketball, it helped me with my footwork and quick steps. So it helped a lot.
Your older brother plays basketball professionally in France. He left home at the age of 15. What was that like, watching him go off to France?
It gave me, actually it motivated me, to follow his step, because he was the first one who left at a young age. And I saw him, like, he used to come home every summer, and when I saw him, I was like, wow, I wanna do the same thing, I wanna live home, live my family, chase at bigger goals, and whenever I got time, come home, see family, and then go back to school and play basketball. So he impacted me a lot.
What was that like for your mom and dad, watching him go off? What kind of conversation do you have with your mom and dad about that?
I mean, it was really hard, because I was the last baby, and to give up on me at that early of age, it was hard, But I thought to them, I said, hey, like, this is a good opportunity for me. I'm gonna learn English, Spanish, and play a higher level of basketball. And if I make it, then I'm gonna come take care of you all. And I think this is the best way you all can, like, literally let me go, and I hope, and I will work my ass off to make sure that I don't let you all down, and that's what I'm doing.
How many languages do you speak?
4 languages.
Tell me.
My native language, which is Bambara, is spoken all Western Africa, and then I speak Spanish, French, and English.
How hard was it to learn all these different languages?
It was really hard, especially at a young age, leaving Mali, go to Spain. I didn't speak any Spanish or English, and people didn't speak French over there, and life was hard, and communication was my biggest problem, because I couldn't understand anything. But I was lucky enough to find a teacher. She spoke a little bit of French, so she helped me a lot with my Spanish and English.
So when your brother goes away and you watch him, that's kind of your role model, right? You want to be like him. Did you get a chance to communicate with him while he was in France, write letters, call?
Oh, yeah, pretty much every day, and we were talking, because I was always asking him how life is there in Europe and what's your daily life. And he was like, man, the thing is really hard. Like, literally, you wake up early, go to class, practice 2 to 3 times a day, play 2 to 3 times a game a week. It's really nothing like Mali. It's really, really hard, and he was always telling me, you gotta be ready for it, because whenever you get a chance, like, don't let it go away, try to make the best out of it.
For kids in Mali, is that a dream, to get an opportunity to go do something bigger, get a chance to go see the world, get a chance for a better life?
Basically, that's everyone's dream, whenever you get a chance to go try something new, different country, different continent, I think that's a great challenge for everyone. And hopefully if you work out, then you come home, take care of your family and your friends and all your loved ones. So I think it's every kid's dream to go to have better opportunity to support their family.
You play with a bunch of international players from all over. You play from kids your player in the States. Isn't that kind of their dream as well? They want to be able to make it and help their family?
Oh, I think that's everyone's dream, either playing in the NBA or playing overseas for professional teams. I think that's, if you make it to the D1, then why not make it to professional? Doesn't matter where you go, the thing that really matters, just like making sure you do the right thing to take care of your family.
What kind of encouragement do you get from your mom and dad and your brothers?
They literally inspire me, because I've seen how my parents work really hard to put me in a situation to succeed, and I've seen how much they support me when no one was around. When I was in Spain, I was crying, calling them like, I can't do this, I want to go back, like no one understands me. I feel like I'm an animal, like I'm trying to communicate, but like people are not understanding, and they were like, just take it and it will work out. And I felt so much support for them, and forever, like, I'm in debt, I'm great to have them as a support.
What do they do for a living?
My dad has his own business, and my mom helped him to make sure, like, everything is set.
So let's talk about going to the Canary Islands in Spain. You go to the Canterbury Islands, the Canterbury International Basketball Academy. How did they find you in Mali, and how did you get there?
So my coach from back home in Mali, because I started playing basketball a little bit late because I was playing soccer, and then when I switched to play basketball, then he saw potential in me. Me and him used to do a lot of extra work so I could catch up, because I started a little bit late. And then he knew a guy called Musa Kando. He's like my manager. He's the one who like sent me to Canary Island, and those two guys are the main reason why I got to Canary Island.
So what's the Canary Island like? What's Canterbury like when you get there? There's a lot of international players. Mm-hmm. Primarily, when I was doing my preparation to talk to you, it's an academy that helps international players learn English to hopefully one day get a chance to play basketball in the States. Yeah. Talk to me about it.
It was great. It was life-changing for me, That is where everything really started to expose, because when I first got there, no one knew about me. Kid from Mali, no one heard of him. And when I got there, practice 4 times a day, play like 4 games a week. It was life-changing experience. And when I understand my role and how this could help me and help my family, and then I try to make the best out of it. But honestly, it really helped me a lot to be here. And I'm grateful for Canterbury and for Coach Santi. They really helped me to get here.
11 years old. You're just a kid. You're just a baby. You said being away from home like that was tough. I can't imagine leaving my parents at the age of 11 and then going to another country where you don't know the language, they don't know you. Were there any other Africans there, people that you could talk to, people you could relate to?
Yeah, because I was almost because there were a lot of there were 2 Malian guys there, so those helped me. But they can't follow you everywhere you go, because they have their own life to take care.
How lonely is it to be a little kid? Because you're just a little kid. You might be grown man size, and everybody looks at you like you're a grown man, but you're still a little kid inside. Away from your mom, away from your dad. I know I've read, you've said this a couple times, that you miss your mom, that you're very tight with your mom. How hard is it to be that little kid, and your mom's not there to give you a hug at the end of the day?
It's really hard, because I left home young age, and I didn't come back. I spent like 10 months in Canada Island without going back home to see my family or seeing any member of my family. It was really, really hard. But as I said, I used to call them literally every day and talk to them, to make sure like they push me and to put my mind in the right place so I could succeed.
What advice do they give you?
Just stick with it, because they say like your brother did it, so if he did it, then why not you, because they always compare me to him, and he was a good inspiration for me to stick with the plan and trusting what I'm doing and having a positive mindset that sooner or later all will work out perfectly for me.
Did you get a chance to talk to him when you were getting lonely or sad being such a little kid? And he's off. He did the same thing. Little kid and left and went to go play basketball.
Yeah, I remember back 2016, I think he came down to Spain to see me. He was the only like part of my family member that came to see me because he was living in France and he was not far, and then he just flew to come see me, and that gave me like really that inspired me, and I felt like if he can do that, come to see me, like I feel so much support from my family, and I feel like people actually really care about me, and that made me even keep going.
How hard is it to learn English? If you grew up in Mali and you have your native language that you speak in Mali, now all of a sudden you're in Spain and they're asking you to learn English. How hard is that to learn how to communicate? You said that it was difficult because nobody can understand you and you couldn't understand anybody else.
It was really hard, and I'm glad the technology has developed so much so I could use Google Translate and those stuff helped me a lot for people to understand me, but I'm glad I was able to speak French because that was my only way to translate things, because back then they didn't have like Bambara and Google Translate. So the fact that I learned French when I was really young helped me to translate, to communicate a little bit with my teachers and my friends. So yeah.
So when you got to Spain, you spoke your native language,
Yeah.
and then you spoke French.
Yeah.
And then did you learn English and Spanish there?
Yep. So when I got there, I always was able to speak French and my native language. And then from my time there, I started speaking Spanish and English.
All right. This is a silly question. I'm going to ask you this. When you're thinking, what language do you think in?
All of those languages. Honestly, like it just depends of what I'm thinking of, or like who is around me, because I can't think in like either French, Spanish, or English, but most of the time it's French and my native language, but when I'm around American, then I think English.
See, my dad grew up speaking Spanish before he spoke English.
Yeah.
And he said for a while he would think in Spanish and then translate to English. Now he would think in English and then translate to Spanish. But you think in a certain language, and a lot of times people don't realize that when you're bilingual.
Yeah, really, because it takes like, you have to like think in another language and then try to translate it. Like I can think, like I'm talking to you in English right now, but I can think in Bambara or in French. Then when I'm saying, then I'll translate it in English. So it's kind of hard, you have to like, deal with it all.
Now in this team, you've got Latvian, Estonian, you've got English, you've got French, you've got so many different languages. Do you ever find yourself thinking in different languages during the game?
Oh yeah, especially French. Like when Christian, Ben, and me, when we were on the car at the same time, we always like speak French because it's like the easiest way we can communicate and no one understands, So yeah.
So did the other teams look at you? Wait a minute! I thought we were playing Arizona. These guys are probably Rue Falsey.
Yeah. So it was fun. Actually, it's really fun to have people around you from all different places. It just makes you even more cultural. I learned so much about Canada, France, Estonia, Sweden, Lithuania, and I'm just glad to have all of those guys around me every single day.
All right. You're a young man, but you've traveled the world more than most adults have traveled their whole life. We talked a little bit about being in Spain. know it was tough growing up and learning how to deal with all that, but you had some fun in Spain, right? There were some things that you really enjoyed, correct?
Yeah, it was really fun because when I was in Spain, we had a first ACB team in Spain, and every weekend our coach used to take us. We were like really young, and he used to take us to watch all those games. We were like a big fan, and back then I didn't even know anything about college. My only dream was like played on that team, making professional play on that team, but different path.
When did people start talking about you and calling you Baby Shaq?
Back 2016, I think, when I first played in African championship, and that was when my breakout really started, because I played there and we won the championship, and then people start like, oh, this guy's really good, this guy, that, where is he from, and then they start like talking about me.
Did you know much about Shaq?
Yeah, I did, because my brother used to have all Shaq's clips, since I didn't even know I was going to come to US or come to Spain, go to Spain. And me and him used to watch Shaq clips. And by that time I was playing soccer, but he was playing basketball, but I used to watch Shaq's clip with him. So since then I knew Shaq, but I didn't even play basketball.
Wow, that's awesome. All right, so you get done in Spain and you get an opportunity to go to Mexico City. Mm-hmm. Talk to us about that journey. How did you get from Spain to Mexico City to the NBA Academy?
It was a long journey, because I was in Spain for so long, and I felt like I wanted to try something new, I did a couple of years there, went to a great British school that helped me to learn English and Spanish. And my last year of high school, I felt like I want to try something new, and I was already talking to Coach Tommy Lloyd and my manager Musa, and then NBA Academy was really interested in me, and then we made it work, and then I went there, stayed there for 9 months.
What was it like?
It was completely different, because before I went to Mexico, I didn't hear great thing about Mexico, but actually when I went there, it was completely different. People were nice. NBA Academy, it was a family to me, and it will still be forever a family to me. They take care of me. And my time was, I had a chance to meet so many good people, especially Ben, who was my roommate. So I'm glad I made that decision to go to Mexico City.
All right, so tell me what it's like, a young Umar Ballo and a young Ben Mathurin living life in Mexico. He is from Canada, you're from Mali, and you're in Mexico City.
It was great, because the thing that really get me and Ben close was like, just me and him was the one who could speak English, But back then he didn't speak Spanish, so I helped him out a little bit of Spanish. But it was great to find someone that I can speak to in different languages, and then no one understand. And plus that, we were roommates and we got along with each other.
You also met Christian Coloco around that time, right?
No, I met.
No, you met him when you got to America.
Yeah, when I was at Gonzaga, because I think Arizona was playing at Washington State, and then they stayed in Spokane, and since me and Ben were like really cool, and then I went to the hotel, I met Ben, and then Christian came over, and then we all just got along with each other.
Now I heard this, and I'm not sure this is a true story or not. You got into a taco eating contest once with Ben. Is this a true story? Is this a true story? Tell me about the taco eating contest in Mexico.
That was all Ben. It was, so Ben got in Mexico City a day before me, and then I got to Mexico City, and then Ben was like, yo, like I heard like Mexican tacos are really good, and I was like, I never had taco before my whole life. It was like, me neither, and then should we go try? I was like, yeah, sure. So he took me to a taco place. We ordered four, and then we ate it. It was really, really good. And then we had another 4. So that was 8 tacos. It was really good. And then Ben had another 4. So he ate 12, I ate 8. And then it was really good. We were happy we did it. And then we went back home. We were sleeping. And then 2 a.m., man.
It's not that good at 2 a.m.
Things started going south, we were waiting for each other to use bathroom. It was funny. It was really funny.
We're talking with Umar Ballo. He's our special guest here on Wildcats Radio 1290. You mentioned this is also the time when you were in Spain and then in Mexico City that you met Tommy Lloyd for the very first time. Tell me about meeting Tommy.
Yeah. So when I was in Spain, we used to do a big European international camp, and through that camp, one coach from Gonzaga went to Spain to watch that camp, and then he saw me. Since Tommy is the one who do international recruiting, and then he gave my contact to Tommy. Since then, I think it was 2017. And then Tommy flew to Spain once, and then he saw me, and then we talked. I didn't know much about Gonzaga. He explained me the plan that he has for me, and since 2017, we were being in touch to now.
Rich Herrera, exclusively on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Critics are calling Taco Bell's Mexican Pizza the Musical a scrumptious little number. So tune in for the premiere on TikTok beginning May 26th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And swing by a participating U.S. Taco Bell location to pick up a Mexican pizza because it's back, folks.
License 240693.
See this? That's our logo. No, this.
Wilbur, the polar bear?
And polar bears love seals. And what do we do with every installation? We aero seal. See the connection?
I have a feeling you're going to tell us anyway.
When people get a spanking new AC from Alaskan AC,
and this is a good time to do it,
we aero seal the duct system.
It seals the ducts tight so none of that glorious cool air escapes into the walls or attic.
Right. And polar bears and seals are like best friends.
I don't think that's exactly right.
Gary, Alaskan AC's logo is a big polar bear because we've been keeping Arizona chill since 1972. 50 years of smiling customers.
And we seal the ducts like a polar bear's coat.
We should add a seal to our logo. Polar bears love seals.
Well, yes, they do, but not in the way you're thinking.
They have snowball fights, they have fish fries together.
And they also...
AeroSeal, included with every install from AlaskanAC.com.
I think Gary fainted.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. With reported collisions that are clearing at Valencia and Tucson.
This is David O'Mata, and here's what's trending on 1290 here at 437. The Arizona Wildcats will head to the winner's bracket after coming away with a late rally to come out on top against the rival Oregon Ducks. They will now set forth and take on the top team in the Pac-12 tournament in Stanford tomorrow at 4:45 here on 1290. Another inclusion for the Arizona men's basketball team as 7-foot Estonian big man Henry Thesar signs with the Wildcats. Former 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick is reportedly going to be going to a workout for the Las Vegas Raiders as he continues his journey to try to return to the NFL. Former World Series of Poker bracelet winner Corey Zeidman has been arrested following charges of fraud and money laundering, where Zeidman reportedly brought in $25 million in a sports betting scheme. That's what's trending locally and nationally here on 1290. Still more to come on The Rich Herrera Show. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Down Tucson, it's Wildcat Wednesday. Presented by your Tucson PGA Tour Superstore. Located at Oracle and Liberal Austin, Tucson. Shop with the pros. Today we celebrate what it means to be a Wildcat and how important the Cats are to our community. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
How many other schools were looking at you, scouting you, talking to you at that time?
None, because Gonzaga was the first school to offer me before I went, because the following year I played my first World Cup, and after that I had school like Arizona, Baylor, Kentucky, Oregon. All of those schools came, but like Gonzaga was the first school to really know about me, since no one knew anything about me, and then offer me a scholarship.
What was it about Tommy that you guys clicked and you felt comfortable with?
His loyalty, he does everything. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a human, he can do mistake, but like from what I know about him, is just he does everything the right way, and he cares about me, not just as a basketball player, but as a person. He cares about whatever I do out of basketball life, my family, and I feel like nowadays you don't find people who actually care about me. It's all about business, and when you find that person, you better stick around with those people, because they can help you achieve anything.
So when he tells you, hey, let's come to Spokane, Washington. Okay, Mali's very dry and it's a desert. Yeah. Then you live on an island in Spain, and then you're in Mexico City where it's hot and humid. Then he's going to take you up where it snows. Had you ever seen snow before?
That was my first time ever seeing snow. It was a crazy story, because I didn't know anyone in Spokane. Small city, cold, really cold. Small school. Didn't know enough of my teammates. But as I say, I trust Tommy, and I knew all he wants the best for me, and I knew he's not going to put me in a situation where I will fail, I just trust him, visit there once, and after the visit, I was like, I'm done, I will come to Spokane.
Did you get homesick?
Yeah, I did, because that was the year I went there for my freshman year, and then COVID hit. I couldn't go back home, so I was there for 2 years before going back home. I got homesick a little bit, yeah.
So what's it like for a kid from Africa living where it's cold and it's wet and it's snowy and it is just completely different than where you grew up?
It's a crazy story, you know. I've been through a lot. I've been through so many places. I've met so many people, good people, bad people, and I'm just glad life taught me so much, you know. And also, it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. Like if you work hard, you can achieve anything.
So when you heard Tommy was going to come down to Tucson to the University of Arizona, what went through your mind? And talk about your decision to come down here to Tucson and follow him.
Arizona was my top 3 before I committed to Gonzaga. It was Arizona, Gonzaga, and Baylor, you know. And Arizona was a place that I really love. I don't know why, but I always had a love for Arizona, and that's why they were my top 3. And when Tommy got a job, he said, "Hey man, like, you know, I got a job at Arizona. Like, you don't have to come with me. Like, I leave the choice in your hand. You can go wherever you want, but I will be glad if you, like, come with me." And I was like, well, since I'm in the portal, then I have other school talking to me, but I feel like I know you for so long, and also I like Arizona, and then it's an easy choice for me to make.
When you're at Gonzaga, that's a good basketball program.
Yeah.
Tommy and Coach Few, great job. Timmy and all the rest of those guys up there. How much did you improve going in practice against a team that had gone to the championship game?
I'm glad, you know, those guys really helped me to improve my English and my personality and playing basketball and you know, just knowing how to deal with anything and practicing against those guys every day just makes you better.
So let's talk about the Oumar Ballo that I see. When I saw you at Gonzaga, you weren't as fit. You weren't as in shape. Now you come down to Tucson, you're in the desert, you've taken off bad weight, put on good weight. How have you transformed yourself?
It's Chris Brown, you know. I give a lot of credit to him because when I first got here, I think I had 21% body fat, and by the season start, he got me down to 9. So I was like, wow, like he. At the beginning, I used to hate him because I didn't know him much, and I have a trust issue. I didn't trust him. But once I got to know him and stick with his plan, and I saw it coming along, I saw like I'm losing weight, I'm moving faster, like everything is coming along, I'm being more strong, and I felt like, wow, this thing is really working out. Like he knows what he's doing, you know, and I just stuck with him.
You also say that it was Christian Coloco. Chasing Christian Coloco up and down the floor, you better be in shape. Yeah. And if you're going to bang against him, you better be in shape.
Yeah, Christian, man, our practice was fun, man. Like watching me and Christian going at each other every day was really fun. I have to chase him, and he had to deal with my body and my force. So we help each other a lot.
What's it like coming down here to Arizona? Because Arizona's a brand name. Everybody knows about Arizona basketball. And when you come out for that first game and you're wearing the Arizona uniform and they have the lights and they've got the cheerleaders and the crowd's going crazy and they got that fire shooting up. Did you ever think about, I started in Mali. Yeah. I outgrew soccer and I had to go play basketball, and look where I am now.
I'm grateful, you know, because I feel like start playing basketball outdoors where I didn't have a gym to practice, and from there to look at myself where I'm right now, like I'm forever grateful for all those people who has been part of my journey since the beginning until now, and I thank God for the opportunity He gave me and the good people that are around me to achieve it.
Oumar Ballo joining us right now on Wildcats Radio 1290. All right, got a couple more questions I want to ask you. I want to ask about food. What's food like in Mali? Tell me about what people in Mali eat.
It's basically the most common food back home is rice. You know, they make rice with so many different type of sauce. So it's basically rice and meat and a little bit of pasta, but like mainly it's rice.
Can you make cook any Mali food?
Yeah. I used to cook a lot. Yeah.
For your teammates?
No, for myself. Well, when I was at Gonzaga, I remember I used to cook for me and Joel Ayayi, and we used to make some good African dish.
Now, what about in Spain? What do they have to eat there?
Spanish food is also rice and pasta. They have something called paella. I love Spanish paella. That's like literally my favorite Spanish food. It's made of rice and shrimp and so many different things.
And then when you get to Mexico City, a lot of Mexican food, tacos, burritos.
Yeah, a lot of tacos, burritos, quesadillas. Mexico was fun. Mexico was really fun.
And then Spokane, it's American food. It's, meat and potatoes. You come down here, you get the best of everything, right?
Yeah. Arizona food. American food, actually, it's good too.
All right. I got a silly question for you. So my dad was 6'4". He wore a size 15 shoe. How hard is it for you to find clothes and shoes?
Oh my God, it's really, really hard. Like I'm glad I'm here right now in the States. It's easier. But back in Spain and back home, it was really hard to find shoes and clothes that fit me. It was really hard.
Well, for your whole family, would you get hand-me-downs from your older brothers since they were so big?
Oh, yeah, I do. We used to share clothes and shoes, yeah.
Okay, this is silly, but what's it like to be as tall as you are? You can't hide anywhere. I see you at a football game. I see you above everybody else. I see you walking on campus. You're 2 feet taller than everybody else. I see you walking through here. Is it odd because you can't sneak up on everybody? People know who you are as soon as you walk across campus.
Yeah, it's crazy because you can't, you can't sometimes be yourself. You can't be comfortable because everything you do, people have eyes on you. Like everything you do, they're watching you, and it's kind of hard, But I think I've been in it for quite long now. I used to it, I know how to act, where to act, and I'm comfortable with it now.
But people do treat you differently because you're so big. Yeah. I mean, you're 6'10" when you're 15 years old. Yeah. They talk to you like you're an adult, like you're a grown man, but you're just a little kid in this grown man's body. That's got to be tough as well.
Yeah, it really was because people expect me to be mature based on my body, but my mind was not there yet, but also I'm glad that people expect much from me and they respect me. Pretty much everyone loves me because I'm a funny guy and people love to be around me. So yeah.
All right, music, TV, movies. What does Umar Ballo like to watch and listen to?
Music and movies. Honestly, I love listening to music, especially game days, warm up. I love listening to music, but my playlist is a mess because I have Spanish music, Malian music, French music, American music. I listen to everything.
TV shows, movies, what are your favorites?
Flash and The Green Arrow. I love those two shows.
So you like MCU, the Marvel comics?
Oh yeah, I love it. I love Marvel.
Did you get a chance to see Doctor Strange yet?
I didn't watch it, but I heard about it.
It's you got to watch WandaVision first, and then you can watch all the rest of those. But then they have all the whole new thing coming out. I mean, there's even more coming out.
Oh yeah, for sure. I will look at it.
Who's your favorite superhero?
It's hard to choose between Black Panther, Flash, and Green Arrow. Those are my top three.
I like that. So what do you do for fun? Just to relax? Do you read? Do you watch TV? How do you relax?
I play FIFA with friends from friends and back home. I play FIFA a lot, and also I watch funny videos on YouTube.
All right, a couple more questions. Favorite player in the NBA right now?
Right now, Giannis.
Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, Giannis for sure.
What do you like about him?
His toughness, energy, and courage, and self-trust.
He seems like a good person, like a role model. Like people should try to be like him because he has all these. He's a good person and he works hard.
And literally, he came from nothing to be an NBA champion. It's every kid's dream, make your family, your country proud of you.
Is that important to you, to be a role model one day? So there's kids in Mali and there's kids that grew up like Giannis that can follow and say, listen, Giannis did it. If Umar can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, that's my goal because every time I go back home, so many kids look at me, they say like, yeah, I want to be there one day. And it was really funny because one day I went to one of my friends took me to his school where they play basketball, and I went there. There were like two 2 or 3 kids were named after me. I was like, what?
Named after you?
Named after me. They were like Ballo 1, Ballo 2, Ballo 3. It was crazy. It was really crazy. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, they named themselves after you, and we have 3 Ballos here. I was like, all right, then I'm gonna make it to the 4th one. Then it was really funny. But every time I go home, I feel like everything I do, I have to take the right step, because when you have people looking up to you, you can't go wrong, because they've seen something in you, and that would inspire them to do good thing for themselves and for their families.
All that you've achieved here in Tucson, getting the high ranking, getting to the Sweet 16, game day came to see Tucson. That was pretty cool. You're this close. What was it like to go to the Warriors game and to see Arizona Wildcats, Steve Kerr and Andre Iguodala and all the rest? What was that experience? Had you been to an NBA game before?
Yeah, I did before, but I never been to Warrior games. We all know Steve Kerr; he's a legend, and I was glad I had the opportunity to talk to him, to listen what he said, because he was proud of us. As he said, Arizona basketball is back, and he was really proud of what we've accomplished so far, and he gave us a great speech.
How cool is that a legend like him is paying attention to you?
It's crazy because he literally said like he'll be watching our games whenever he has time, and I feel like, wow, like we're doing something special. If Steve Kerr is watching us, then I don't know how many other legends are like watching Arizona basketball.
That's incredible. Umar Ballo joining us here. A couple more. Football, baseball, golf, American sports. Do you follow any of them? Do you understand any of them?
A little bit football. I don't know much about baseball or golf or hockey, but I like football because I think it's fun.
Not that we want to see you go over there and play, but do you think you could have played football?
No, I'm too tall. I can't. I will lose my legs. I can't do it.
What do you study? What's your major?
General study. I'm trying to minor in sport management.
All right. So years from now, after I get done watching you for 15 years in the NBA, and we get to sit down again, what do you want to do when your playing career is over? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I'm trying to, create basketball academy back home to help young kids, to give them better opportunity to come to Europe or America to study and to play basketball just the same way someone helped me. I'm trying to help other kids for that. And also, I'm interested in coaching basketball.
All right, let's finish it up with this. I know you miss your family and your brothers. Yeah. Do they get a chance to watch you? Do they get a chance to see online and see your highlights and such?
Yeah, because we have a video coordinator here, and he always, every time after the game, he send the game through email to my brothers and my family, and they've seen all the games. They didn't see it on live, but like they've seen the whole game, all season pretty much.
How excited are they?
They're really happy because, last year I didn't play much, and for them to see me, shining here in Arizona and knowing that I'm on the right path with right people around me, they couldn't ask for more.
So how many people in Mali have Arizona t-shirts and sweatshirts?
Oh, couple. Not many, but I'm hoping by this summer and by next year, they're gonna, have a lot of Arizona shirts.
All right, last thing. You moved around so much, and you're a grown man, but you're not even 21 yet, of all your experiences. Do you feel like this is home with Tommy and the way that the people of Tucson have taken you in and they hold you tight and they care about you?
Yeah, this will be crazy, but I've been here since last August, and I never feel homesick for one day. And because when when you're around the right people, those people that actually really are like a family to you, and they care about you, and they never let you go through struggle alone, and when you have those people around you, it make you feel like home. It make you feel like you have family that actually really care about you because who you are, not just because you're a basketball player.
One of the highlights of my year, because we would sit in front of the gym and do the pregame show with Kelvin Ifon, who played. Yeah. And you'd walk by and go, "There's my man, Umar Ballo," because I love your smile. I'm such a huge fan of yours. But one of the highlights of my of my year was when we hung the flags up with the Mali flag.
I remember that.
How much did that mean to you?
No, it meant a lot, because I just woke up, I was about to go eat and then get ready for the game. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, like, no, this is like something special, like those people really love me and they're also putting my country on the map. And I was glad, like, that flag was hanging out there.
Umar, I appreciate you taking all this time, joining us. Enjoy your summer. Keep working out. Best of luck to you, and then we'll catch up with you when school starts again.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Umar Bala joining us here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
We continue with you here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Bear down. Happy Wildcat Wednesday. It wouldn't be Wildcat Wednesday unless we caught up with the voice, of the Arizona Wildcats. Brian Jeffries joining us, I believe, in Scottsdale right now, where Arizona State has just finished their game against the Stanford Cardinal. Brian, how are you? Bear down. Happy Wildcat Wednesday.
Doing very well, Rich, and happy to know the Wildcats are in the winner's bracket and playing good baseball. Excellent game today, pretty much on all fronts, and that's nice to see this time of the year after losing those 3 to Oregon up in Eugene. I just thought you could see they had a mindset to make sure they didn't lose 4 straight.
Certainly, Susek, big game, 2 home runs. Nets, it was kind of fun driving to work, listening to you. Call the game as Dylan did a good job keeping the Cats as the opener, and then watching the Arizona Wildcats scratch and claw and stay in that winner's bracket.
I really thought Nets was a key factor today. I mean, he's not 100%. He's not ready to go deep into ball games, but they were going to throw a bullpen today. That was the plan going in. They told him that, we're going to let you go through the order once, and that's going to be it. And that's almost what he did. He faced 10 guys in the ball game and didn't give up a hit until that, maybe the 7th batter or something, and gave up 2 hits. The 2 runs he was charged with, and I know that goes on your record. But again, both of those runs scored after he left the ball game on hits that were given up by Javen Pimentel. So I just thought it was Dawson was tremendous, and that bodes well for the Wildcats because the more pitching depth you have, the better off you are in this tournament and next week, etc. The more arms you can call on, the better. So just seeing him do that, and back in Eugene this past weekend, he pitched in and looked very good. So Chip Hale used 6 guys today. That was kind of the plan, and they did a good job. The bullpen again was strong, and now they'll turn it over to the starters tomorrow and hopefully get some big innings out of TJ.
And certainly with Nets starting the ball game so efficient, going 3 up, 3 down in that first inning, I thought that set him up for success. And you talked about it, coming off the dead arm period that he's been fighting through in the shoulder fatigue. I just thought that's really what put the Cats in the right position to win this ball game. All right, so explain it to us. Cats win, Stanford wins. So now the scenarios for Arizona in the winner's bracket is what?
Well, they play Stanford tomorrow, and the winner of that game gets Friday off. So that's kind of a carrot hanging out there for both teams, and there's nothing wrong with having a day off. In particular, you're going to play at 4:45, 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and so it's going to be the heat of the day, and maybe it'll cool off a little, but I doubt much as that game goes on. And it was very, very warm down on the field today when Arizona State and Stanford were playing. Even at the end of the Arizona game, it got very warm down there. And so, fatigue and your endurance is going to be a big factor. The Wildcats were able to get out of there before it hit triple digits today, so maybe that'll be an edge for them. But anyway, the winner tomorrow gets Friday off, moves on to Saturday. The loser has to come back Friday and then play the winner of the Oregon ASU game tomorrow. So it could be a rematch with the Ducks, or it could be a match with the rival from Tempe. If you win, the easiest scenario, Rich, is this: you win tomorrow, you get Friday off, you win that first game on Saturday, and then you immediately go into the championship game on Sunday night. If you lose Saturday, let's say you're in the winner's bracket, you lose that first game on Saturday, you have to come back and play another game on Saturday night, and that is a winner-take-all into the championship game. So, it's kind of an odd bracket. The Big 12 has used this when you split it into 2 divisions, but that's the way they want to go about it, and that's fine. And I thought today everything ran exceptionally well. I thought the Pac-12 did a great job. It wasn't a huge crowd, and we didn't expect that, being it was the first ever, and it was a hot day. But there were a lot more people there than I anticipated going in, and a lot of fans from schools other than Oregon and Arizona were there for that first game. And I thought that was very encouraging for the conference to see that type of support. And as long as the Wildcats are there, there'll be fans, ASU, et cetera. Oregon State brought a big contingent. And we'll see, later tonight how those schools fare.
By the way, the buzz amongst the players and the participants, what's that energy level like?
Well, I think they're all excited. The conference has never done anything like this, and so these guys are in something that they haven't played in before. Tanner Otremba was on our pregame show today. He had played in the Big 12 tournament when he was at Texas Tech, and he talked about how much fun that was. In fact, when I asked him about that, he had a big smile on his face. He said, "Yeah, you get into postseason play like this, and you have fun. Sure, you want to win, but at the same time, being in that one place where it's a neutral field and you've got fans from both sides, and you know what's on the line, you just go out and play your best." And maybe that was the thing that helped the Wildcats today. They were very loose. They were confident, but they were very loose in the fact that they knew they needed to win some games here to enhance their NCAA situation. But at the same time, I think that they just wanted to go out and play baseball. And that's exactly what they did. They got tremendous hitting. Again, you look at the defense. And Rich, we've talked about this all season long, the things that have held the Wildcats back. And today was a great example of playing the game the way you want to play it. They only walked 3 batters. They've been averaging 4 a game. I know that may not sound like a big deal, but it is. That's one less guy on bases. The Wildcats lead the league in wild pitches. No wild pitches thrown today. Didn't hit a batter. They've hit 57 batters this year. Didn't hit one today. Didn't give up a stolen base. Threw out the only Oregon player trying to steal today. And those things are sometimes overlooked. You look at pitching and hitting, but those categories I just mentioned make a big difference oftentimes. And I think that's held back the Wildcats in certain games this year. So to play a clean game like that, I thought was very, very important. And it just, hopefully will build now into the game tomorrow.
One last thing before we let you go. You get a chance to catch up with Chip and talk with the coaches after the ball game and get their reaction.
I did not. They headed straight back to the hotel, so I've not talked to them yet. I'm going to go over tomorrow morning, but I know just in what Chip told the media there, I listened into the media conference afterwards, and no, he was very happy with the way the guys approached the game, and that was really it. And, getting, the early home runs from Aaron Caulfield and Daniel Susak were certainly big. He wanted to get that early lead, and I think that, again, gave the guys a lot of confidence. And this, Scottsdale Stadium, that's a huge ballpark, Rich. And when I was talking to people before it started, and everybody that's played there or been there before, they said, yeah, you just can't hit the ball out here. And then you got Aaron Caulfield hitting his second career home run in the second inning. Susak, we know he's got some strength. And then, he comes up with another one to the, left field, which is, a long ways, or not as long as center field. So I was really impressed with the way they approached the game and everything that they did from pitching to defense to hitting the ball today. And they're going to have to do it again tomorrow because Stanford has won 13 straight games. They were favored to win the conference. They're playing better than anybody, and the Wildcats will see their ace pitcher tomorrow, Alex Williams. And so it's going to be a huge opportunity for Arizona, but I think one they're ready to tackle.
Hey, I like staying in that winner's bracket. Hopefully they get Friday off. You can enjoy your time up in Scottsdale, having a little time off on Friday, maybe enjoy some baseball, and then we'll get back to it in the winner's bracket on Saturday if all goes well.
Well, that would be the ideal scenario. You want to just keep winning, and I think everybody knows that day off is a possibility, and I don't think that the guys need necessarily rest, but in the heat that they're playing in right now, I think it's a bigger factor, Rich, to get time off like that. And today, I think, was big, getting done at noon. Stanford had to play in the heat of the day, and now they've got to come. Both teams have to come back tomorrow, but I think that extra few hours hopefully will be another big boost for the Wildcats.
Well, Brian Jeffries, I'll let you go. Thank you so much. Don't forget Brian on the air tomorrow about 4:45. They'll get going with the first pitch, Arizona versus Stanford in the second round of the Pac-12 tournament. Brian, bear down. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bear down. Thanks, Rich.
Thank you very much. Brian Jeffries joining us here on Wildcats Radio 1290 program today, brought to you apart by Trajan Wealth, 321-4100. 321-4100. You go to TrajanWealth.com, TRAJAN Wealth.com. You know what happens to most NFL players after they sign and they get the big contract and they have a wonderful career and everything goes their way? Most of them go bankrupt. You realize that? After all that money you could make in professional sports, most professional athletes go bankrupt. Why? Because they didn't find someone to help them manage their money, someone who had the same goals as they did, someone who was working to grow their investments. It's a simple story, and it's as old as time itself. A fool and his money are soon parted. If you don't take care of your money's not going to be there to take care of you. That's why the folks at Trajan Wealth sit down with their clients face-to-face, talk to them right here in Tucson. You're not calling an 800 number with a different person calling every time. They're not getting paid a commission to sell you something that might not work for you, your family, and your needs. They're fiduciaries. They're paid and incentivized to simply grow your portfolio. They're your partners. They got your back. If you don't have that with your guy or you don't work with anybody, why don't you call my friends at Trajan Wealth right now? 321-4100, 321-4100, full service, privately owned firm with an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. And again, they're your neighbors right here in Tucson. Call them today, 321-4100, or go to TrajanWealth.com, TRAJAN Wealth.com. We'll continue with you. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.